expanded even.
Oh,
after
so
that.
it's, yeah, tremendous.
So we gotta get that done.
Yeah, it's a service for our citizens.
Any questions, comments? Again, it's a huge thank you for pulling that together. I'm told that we're one of the first counties ever to have done this investment. And I think it's gonna work out real well.
Thanks,
Thank you
Kyle.
again, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks, Tom.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was pretty innovative, Mike. Thanks for putting that together.
Timber sale for Helen and Lewis and Clark. National Forest. Park Creek salvage sale, I'm not sure where that's at. Public notice from DEQ, Saddleback Ridge Homeowner Association. Anyway, this is over Saddle Ridge Estate subdivision near Laurel. Here's a memo from accounting, postage meter, it shows the Board of Health on that one.
I know it's not time yet, but I'm just gonna get set up until you're ready for me. Are you ready now?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. A couple minutes, so that's close enough.
I think everyone's here that is going to be here for these. So this first one is the DT Rouser. And this one's Stan and Tammy's. I'm gonna slide it over here by you now, so I can pass it a little easier.
Big one. Huge.
Huge.
Golf course.
Huge subdivision.
Swimming pool.
Gonna use a bunch of water and disturb the
Natural
soil.
springs.
Yeah. Should really be concerned.
Make a little pond right out of that ditch down there, let it flow in there, nice cool soothing water,
That sounds amazing, actually. Can I live there?
except they turned it off today, so.
Oh.
Should've filled it up before now you can't skate.
That's right.
Alright, so this is the request for final plat approval of the DT Rouser minor subdivision. You said the owners are Dana and Tammy Rouser. This is on Lightning Barn. I think all of you are familiar with the area. Condition number 1 and 2 are coming around. Plans for sewage treatment and water supply shall be submitted to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality for review and approval. Number 1. And number 2, a stormwater drainage plan meeting the requirements of the county subdivision regulations shall be submitted to county planning department for review and recommendation. So you have the DEQ approval and the stormwater drainage plan in that packet. Number 3, coming around, prior to any development and/or soil disturbance, a weed management plan for the proposed development shall be submitted to the county weed district for review and approval. You do have the signed and approved weed management plan. Number 4, plans for the location and installation of individual mailboxes shall be reviewed and approved by the U.S. Postal Service prior to installation. There's a letter there from Postmaster Gail Boucher. Number 5, I'm going to just go on because I have nothing to give you on this, but number 5 states the applicant will be required to submit the final plat drawings in electronic format to Broadwater County in ArcGIS, AutoCAD, or MicroStation format. And that has all been done electronically. I have those files. Number 6 deals with the fire plan. And so I have a packet of letters and email conversations here. I'm going to read aloud just for the record, but then I will pass them around and give you an opportunity to read over them. So the first letter I have is dated June 13th, 2017 from Ed Schindel, Broadwater County Rural Fire District Fire Chief. This is to Dana and Tammy Rouser. To whom this may concern, the Broadwater County Rural Fire District has some concerns for this family house addition to the district. There will be one house on 8.43 acres. The roadway into this residence will be of proper size with no weight limits for our big trucks to travel. There will be clearance and a turnaround of sufficient size for our apparatus to maneuver through. I did not get a copy of the map for the exact position of the lot, but I do know the general area where it is located. So then I have a follow-up letter. This is dated August 16th, also from Ed Schindel, to Dana and Tammy Rouser. To whom this may concern. Looking over the first letter that I wrote about this subdivision, I see that I did not word the letter very well. The concerns that the district has have to do with the road construction. I just want to make sure that there will be enough road width that 2 trucks could meet and pass on it, if necessary, and any bridges or culverts will be of a standard install so that we will not damage the property or our trucks while crossing. And then lastly in the packet, it was an email conversation from Ed and I because Ed emailed me this letter. And I said, thanks Ed, so the subdivision is good to go as is? And he responded, yes. So, give you an opportunity to look over that. That's item number 6 for the fire protection standards. Number 7,
So,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, the rural fire district. So that is a request that they put forward, but there's no teeth, no requirement. It really is just more of a friendly letter request. And that's it.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, and that's because this is a driveway, and we do not have driveway standards.
Okay,
So the homeowner has been made aware of this, he's received a copy of the letter, you know, they understand that this is really for their own benefit and for their own protection. If the fire trucks can't get to you because of your road construction, that's no fault of the county or the fire district. If bridges are damaged or roads, again, it's no fault of the county or the fire district, it all falls on the homeowner. So there really is nothing that we can enforce when it comes to driveways.
okay. Thanks.
Mhm.
I just wanted that for clarity.
Number 7, the final plat shall be prepared in accordance with applicable state survey requirements, Montana Subdivision and Plating Act survey requirements, and county subdivision regulations. Has been. Number 8. These are the commission required covenants, and there are no additional covenants being placed on this property, since it is only one lot. Would seem rather silly.
Yeah.
And they can have an annual homeowners association meeting. I suggest them wear warm.
At a nice restaurant.
At a nice, right, at a nice
Yeah.
restaurant somewhere. 9A, prior to filing the final plat, the following improvements shall be installed or otherwise guaranteed. Utilities abutting and available to each lot, which they are. And B, any necessary improvements required by the stormwater drainage plan or weed management plan. And there were no additional requirements. 10A, provide proof that all taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquencies. And 10B, is the plating certificate, showing that the applicant is the lawful owner of the property with the apparent authority to subdivide the same.
I had notes about Ed's concerns, and then I had notes about, the creek and water rights. No issue there, is that Dana's water right?
That's correct, yeah. And I believe his brother-in-law has a water right to it, so there was no issues. Where the homestead is located is going to be away from the creek. So,
Okay.
and as you recall, there were some floodplain issues that they had on this parcel, but obviously those
Right.
have been worked out. DEQ would not give approval if that were the case.
Okay, all right, yeah, that was the other one, floodplain. All right, I don't have any questions. I'll move that we grant final approval to, is this DT?
DT Rouser, minor
Thank you,
subdivision.
DT Rouser minor subdivision as presented. Thank you.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Move in second, accept the DT Rouser subdivision as presented. Any more discussion? No more discussion, we'll move to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
The only thing I got is I'm gonna have to have a few more gophers out there to put some holes in for the golf course. It'll be a while.
Are you gonna flag additional holes, or are you only gonna have 9?
I'm gonna have probably about 20 or 30. They're not gonna be very far apart. You won't
That's
be able
my
to-
kind of golf game.
You won't be able to retrieve your ball.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. If that ain't enough, step across the fence, go grab some potatoes that are laying on the ground out there.
Hey, maybe you'll have a new thing, potato golf.
With gophers. Wildlife viewing, all at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Anne is, acting on, so she'll be back this afternoon. So maybe when you are off this afternoon, you wanna come back and you and Tammy can sign them, and we'll have them recorded. Does that work for you?
Should.
Or some, she just said sometime after lunch.
Yeah, she probably.
Yeah.
That's what she better do. Yeah, either then or tomorrow morning.
Or that's what she said too.
You be around
Perfect.
tomorrow? Okay. All right, that'll work. I'll get ahold of you. You just have it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's it. You're done.
Congratulations, Dana.
Oh, thanks.
Hi.
Thanks. Thanks for all the help.
Pop this one out there too. Thank you.
Put your pen there, or you should go
Yeah,
to that.
we'll just save it for this one, hopefully. I don't wanna assume.
We're just a few minutes ahead, so we'll.
Yeah.
a little bit.
It's fine.
This is,
What are you, adding on your house?
Just extending the back, kitchen,
Oh, nice.
a new bathroom and, mudroom. He's doing a good job. I was trying to help and I feel in my hands and my wrists and my shoulders. And all I did was very, very little compared to what he did, so. Yeah, I don't know how he does it.
monthly report from commissioners on that. We're just a couple of minutes away. Nicole, if you want to go ahead and start your 11:30 appointment.
Certainly. All right, this is the Lake Vista Lot 4, subsequent minor subdivision request for final plat approval. Condition number 1 and 2 are coming around in the same packet here. Condition 1 states, plans for sewage treatment and water supply shall be submitted to the Montana Department of Environmental Quality for review and approval. The certificate of subdivision approval shall be filed with the final plat. And number 2 states, a stormwater drainage plan shall be submitted to DEQ for review and recommendation. All specifications and requirements of the approved plan shall be met. Number 3 is in regards to the electronic file of the plat. which I have electronically, so I have nothing to pass around for you on that one. Number 4 states, plans for the location and installation of individual mailboxes shall be reviewed and approved by the U.S. Postal Service prior to installation. You have their letter from Postmaster Gail Boucher. Number 5 is in regards to the fire plan. So I have an email conversation here between the developer's representative and Fire Chief Ed Schindel that I'll read aloud for the record and then pass around as well. So this is from Bernadette Swenson, the representative to the developer, to Ed Schindel, Broadwater County Rural Fire District Chief. Because, I'm sorry, let me back up. Number 5 is I don't think I said that already. 5 is the fire plan approval. So, Ed, I was checking in with you to see if you've had time to review the fees for Lake Vista Lot 4 minor subdivision project. We will be scheduling final approval next week, and I wanted to let Eldo Heinley, the developer, know what fees I need to collect. He is planning on the remaining $5,000 for the burying of the 2 additional tanks in Grandview Manor, but I don't know if the additional per lot fee would be added to this subdivision or for future divisions of any of the remaining lots of Lake Vista. If he decides to divide them, just let me know and I'll pass the information on to him. Thank you, Bernadette Swenson of Schauber Survey. Ed's response states, Bernadette, there will be no more fees for Lot 4 project. The future divisions will be determined as they are developed. So I have a check here for $5,000 for the fire department. If you recall, there was discussion when we came in for final approval of Lake Vista Lot 3 as to whether this developer would bury 2 additional tanks in Grandview Manor, because there is a well there and some, I think it's a 10,000 gallon tank, is that right? So the developer would either install those tanks or just pay for the cost of them, and we weren't sure which direction Ed Schindel wanted to go, so he said just pay the $5,000 per lot, which, again, I have here. Number 6.
1,000 per lot.
1,000
total?
Yeah, 5,000 total. 5,000 per lot would be spectacular, but yeah, you're right. 1,000 per lot.
So then, Ed's saying that there will be additional charges for these other lots, or there won't?
If they decide to develop the other lots further. As you recall, there's a lot 2 right here is just under 15 acres, lot 5 here is just under 15, and then there's lot 1, it lays in a different fashion, is 20 acres plus, 20 and some change. So if the developer ever decides to do a similar thing and split those lots, yes, there would be additional monies, and that would be looked at that time. Number 6 is the signed and approved weed plan, which you have coming around here. 7, final covenants. The commission required covenants are noted here on the second page and just the second page. Third page is signature. So they did have some of their own additional covenants that they wanted to add to these, as well as some carryover covenants from the original Lake Vista minor subdivision when they created it. And then the commission required covenants are also added onto it.
Are subdividers provided any kind of documentation? I'm going back to the gentleman that we just talked about at Board of Health. Are they provided any kind of information as to what they should do to ensure that their imposed covenants are upholdable, are met? Is that a slippery slope, or is that an opportunity?
I don't know that the county could or would want to even get involved with that. Covenants are such a finicky thing. If it's really a gentleman's agreement, that, when you buy a piece of property and you're given covenants saying, yes, and as the homeowner or the lot purchaser, you generally don't sign anything saying you've received these covenants or you will adhere to them. You sign your buy-sell agreement, but you don't sign the covenants. And so I think it's really getting into some legal grounds that are a constant battle in not just our county, but every county. Covenants are very, very difficult to uphold unless they're commission-required covenants, and then it does give it some teeth because you folks impose these covenants, and if they want to amend them, they need to come to you. If they don't want to follow them, however, the onus is on you. So, did that answer your question?
It
Are you
did.
talking about the non-commission required covenants, correct? Okay.
Yes, yeah, I'm talking about the trailer court, just north of town there. I forget who that is, but regardless, is there something we can do? Probably not,
Mhm.
is what I'm hearing. That's really between landowner and new landowner.
Which, fortunately, unfortunately, I guess, depending on your profession, generally turns into attorney versus attorney.
Right,
The landowner has to hire an attorney to defend themselves. The developer or the creator of the subdivision or the remaining subdivision residents homeowners association, they hire an attorney to pursue the issue or the infraction. So I don't think that you would ever want to get involved with that.
no, no.
I-
Just was wondering about, the whole transparency and communication side of things, but the more we get involved, the more we can be involved,
Mhm.
is what you're saying. That makes sense.
And so these battles become your battles.
Right.
So if someone has a garage that's too small, or pink siding, or too many cars parked on the street, or not enough square footage, all of those battles then become your battles, and subsequently, probably my battles, so please no.
All right, thank you.
Here you go. Eight A states, prior to filing the final plat, the following improvements shall be installed or otherwise guaranteed. Any necessary improvements required by the stormwater drainage plan, weed management plan, fire protection plan, or approach permits. And there were no additional requirements for any of those. 8B states utilities abutting and available to each lot. Electrical and telephone shall be underground. So what you have coming around is a bill from Northwestern Energy along with a notation that it has been paid, and so utilities are installed. Nine A is included in 9B. I'll pass this around. If you look to the second page here, 9A states that all taxes assessed and levied for the current tax year must be paid, and so it does show on here that those taxes have been paid. And then this is also the documentation for 9B, the plating certificate showing that the developer or subdivider is the lawful owner of the property. And I don't know if you noticed a pattern here, everyone is scrambling to get in before November 1st. Otherwise, they have to pay all of the taxes that would be assessed for the 2017 year. So I have one more that's going to
sure.
still come in this month, hopefully. Otherwise, they have to pay their November tax bill and their May tax bill, because we would be entering into a 2017 tax year.
Oh, wow.
There's always this mad push at this October time, because
Right?
either you do it now or you wait a little bit if your taxes are substantial.
And everybody's taxes are substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
You've answered all my questions.
Cool.
thank you.
Any other questions for Nicole?
I move that we grant final plat approval in for Lake Vista Lot 4 minor subdivision as presented.
I'll second.
We move a second for final plat approval for Lake Vista amended lot number 4. Any more discussion? No more discussion, we'll go to a vote. All in favor? Motion carries. Quitting on me here, I'm going over
Oh.
it again.
I have another one.
Now, I
Must be very
scratched
big.
around here, so
I think it's just the Mylar.
I don't know if you're required to do this, but I think it's neat that you're doing it. The cemeteries.
Yeah, I do too. Long time coming. And Bernadette has done magnificent.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. She's good at everything. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you don't have anything for me?
No.
I think so.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's from the county postage readers. Commission. Morning. Couple 3 minutes ahead, but if you're ready, Mr. Conkey, we'll go with you.
Okay, got some good news. Just moments ago, I got a call from Sean Higley. The Deep Creek project, FEMA has approved and committed the funding, and we can go ahead. And the next project we're gonna do is ask them for an extension for another year. Because we gotta have it all done by March. He was gonna send me an email, but it hasn't came in yet. As soon as it does, I'll have copies for all of you, the letter from FEMA. And then, let's see, last Friday I went to the regional DES coordinators meeting, and the EMPG grant for this federal fiscal year has been approved. This request, what we wanted was $26,000. And be on the agenda next week to get that approved. That'll have to be something you have to approve and sign some documents. Delegating me as your, well, they used to call this agency agent, the applicant's agent, now they call it something different nowadays. A few little changes, but no problem. The main thing we're gonna do here today is to visit about the ambulance budget, the ambulance CIP. And Cyrus went out to Seattle, and he has some change orders, and he's gonna discuss those change orders. He has documents to hand out, and it came up a little bit higher than, change orders always cost money, they never go lower. Mike knows that, Delbert knows that, the contractor. So I'll turn it over to Cyrus. he has something to give you.
So, like saying, I was out
Thank you.
in Seattle last month. Met with the manufacturers and their
Thank you.
engineers, and some of the things was stuff that we noticed that were in the drawings but weren't in the specs, such as some cabinet doors. And so that's the biggest expense of adding the cabinet doors. Also added a couple extra power outlets in the back in there, and then just some other small changes with different type of running boards and a rear bumper on it. So the first change order there would be increase the price of $1,750. Then we have a second change order towards the back of that, and that is a total option of adding a backup camera to the ambulance for added safety, and that would add $825.
What page is that on?
It is second from the last.
Second from the last,
Yeah.
okay.
There was some things that we took away that saved some money, but there was more added to it than taken away, unfortunately. A lot of it is just changing wording from updating the wording on it and just minor things that didn't cost me. We can change it.
I have a question, sir.
Mhm.
When is this, commissioners, when do they want this back?
As soon as possible.
Okay,
The sooner it gets back, the less of a delay will be in getting the ambulance delivered. But we got plenty of time though too on it.
so they can take it and digest it for a week?
Yep,
Look through it, get a hold of you,
Yeah.
and ask some questions?
yep.
Cyrus's phone number is?
406-465-4282.
4282 the last.
Yes.
I'm on the agenda next week with a DES update.
Okay.
And if you want to
Yeah.
discuss this, then you can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got any pictures to show them what you got here?
It's pretty much the same what it was.
Hey Cyrus, what was the overall cost for the ambulance again? Do you have it?
Yes, I do. Let me. It was $175,229.
What is that again now?
175,000.
175?
Yep, 229. And that does not include the power load system that you guys authorized separately
Okay,
too. And that power load was 23,698.
all right. Since these are change orders, they should probably go on the agenda.
Yeah, just expand my agenda item, we fine,
Okay,
as a sub-item,
okay.
because I don't have much for you.
Next week, you mean, or?
Yeah, next week, I'm on the agenda next week, I don't know what time it is, I haven't seen the time yet.
Okay, all
But
right,
it's a DES update, we're gonna do the, I'll give you that, EMPG grant, in just a few minutes to give you the cover letter, dollar amount, and you sign some documents.
okay,
Then the second item can be the ambulance, change orders,
that'll work.
bullets, or however you wanna list that.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner, you know, that just,
Yeah.
And still looking at potentially a February delivery?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be pushed back a little bit, since this is taking some time, but we got plenty of time yet, so.
All right,
But yeah, when I was down there in, last month, they were telling me February first, but I'm guessing it's gonna be pushed back a little bit now, which is fine.
yeah,
We
no,
don't get
that's
Yeah,
property
earlier
tax
than
collections.
expected.
yeah, a lot
Hey.
earlier than I was expecting. I'm just like, wow, okay, we may need to slow this down a little bit.
It's a good problem to have.
So,
Backup cameras, I think it's fine, it was just an oversight apparently.
yeah, and like I said, some of the other stuff was, it was in the drawings, but it wasn't in the specs, like the cabinet doors, so.
That's why we requested a pre-build meeting,
mm,
to send somebody out to go through it,
Mhm.
line by line. And Cyrus has done a great job, he understands this stuff, spent a lot of time digging into it. He's got a lot of experience, paramedic experience with other ambulance services, and even flies a lot, don't you?
Yeah, work full-time for a flight in Helena, so.
Nice. It's nice to have that expertise, thank you.
You know,
That's why it's good to have that.
Way over my
for
pay
the
grade.
Ambulance service here.
Mine does. Yeah, they do a great job. They're sure busy, boy.
Why don't you tell them a call volume?
Yeah, we're up this year, right now, from January first till now, we're at about 327 calls for the year, which is up just over 300 from last year.
Last year total,
Full
Yeah,
12 months last year.
wow.
so we're probably gonna be up around 340, 350 calls this year by the end of December.
Wow, how's your volunteer roster?
It's staying the same,
Yeah, staying the same. We're covering them.
yeah.
Wow.
You
I think
know,
down the road, we're gonna have to look at perhaps something to compensate them.
Mhm.
Perhaps a mill levy, or we get the trial over, maybe we'll have some money in the, what do you call those floating levies?
Mhm.
Employing mills. Might have to look at compensating, at least one full-time person, like Roundup does, several of them have facilities even where they sleep at night, so. Most of our calls are what, hardest to fill, daytime, is that what it is? Or you guys tell me. Oh,
You know, it kinda varies.
Yeah, it does.
it's hard to predict.
Yeah, it's hard to predict, it's, everybody's schedule is so, not a set schedule right now, so. it's hard to
Everybody's got a
say.
real job somewhere
Yeah.
else. But they do really good. Some days I have 2-3 calls one day.
Mhm.
Middle of the night, I have transports and stuff. Takes a lot.
Yeah,
They run more than the fire department does. Fire department helps them a lot. And they, of course, go to all structure fires, hazmat. That's an automatic page out. And then if they're requested for wildland fire or other things, then they'll respond.
And we do football and rodeo standbys.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Great service.
it is, yeah.
Gotta have it. Unfortunately, we'll probably all use it someday.
Right? Yeah.
Hopefully not, but. Do you have any questions for us? Ambulance or anything? Give you an opportunity to go through that, digest it. You got Cyrus's phone number, give him a call. You wanna give him your email?
Yeah, sure, it's Brant, BRANDT, Cyrus, CYRUS, at gmail.com.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for your time.
Yeah.
The drawings you gave us, Mel took those for the minutes. Can we
Yeah.
give them back next week?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thanks.
I got multiple copies of them.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you folks again.
While they're taking more of your time, I'm sure you're busy.
Thank you.
We're out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Yeah.
When I get the schedule email to Mel, send to you,
Another county one, telephone charge, commissioner one, and there's one senior citizen. pass it down to,
And you need to make an announcement of what this is for the minutes, Franklin. I'll give that back to Franklin.
oh, yeah, for the record, that Granite County, is gonna help on our, what is the wording for it?
State of Montana versus Lloyd Harris.
Yeah, basically that's what it is, yeah. And they're gonna help in the amount of 25,000.
I think it should be noted 100% of the request.
Okay.
And that's because so much of it was cross county lines.
Mhm. Okay. Are we waiting for other counties besides Powell?
6 of those
Yeah.
were sent out, yeah.
Here's the WIC program with Mar County.
I'll move that we sign the updated task order for the WIC program
Moved and
as
seconded.
presented.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, we sign the WIC program with Mar County. State, any more discussion? No more discussion, go to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Please.
There's another one here for Jefferson County too.
Hmm?
There's another one there for Jefferson County too. I'll make a motion to pay the WIC program satellite agreement with Jefferson County.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Same thing paid for the, with the Jefferson County. All in favor?
Aye.
Here's from WWC, it's on that REACH program. You see why these cost so much with all the,
Huh?
you see why the cost gets so high?
Yeah.
Be back just a couple minutes before Kurt gets here.
So with that deal with, the Meals on Wheels, is the county allowed to supply those matching funds and still qualify for the federal, or does it just have to, or is that something that we have to look into?
Gonna have to look into it. I don't know the,
If the county's
The
allowed
law.
to match federal funds?
right? I don't know. But I do know that we can't lose that program just because the state is playing its games.
Why are they, I don't understand why they're cutting these programs.
I don't either. I think there's a lot more political games going on than actually good management. I'm very disappointed in what I've seen.
You're cutting one and losing four.
And they're doing that all over the place. It's
On
not just
everything.
Meals on Wheels, yeah. It's programs for, children, at-risk youth. This grant we just lost, that's for mentoring at-risk youth. Anytime you keep somebody out of that system, you don't pay for them on the back end in our detention centers or felonies like Corey was talking earlier. elderly who have spent their whole life giving to their communities and working and raising families. And now we're gonna say we're just not gonna
Sorry, you
even let you have
can't
a single nutritious meal a day.
eat. Yeah.
Children born addicted to opioids. Really? We're gonna cut funding there? I'm thoroughly
And that's
disgusted.
only gonna continue to get worse. The more you cut the funding, the worse that's gonna get.
Exactly, yeah. But politics seems to be the focus of the day, so nothing's getting done. While we're waiting, just to keep business going, I have two claims here that I want your opinions on. One is for Shawver Surveying in the amount of $5,920, and it's for that. And the other one is for planning, $700, and it's for the two COSs. I would like to, instead of having these come out of the commission budget, which we did not budget for, have these come out of PILT. It's not, it's just not commission services, it is county-wide services.
I agree with that.
I will move that we pay the claim for planning for the COSs for Centerville and Placer cemeteries, and the fee for Shawver Surveying from PILT in the amount stated on the claims.
I'll second that.
Move to second, pay these two claims out of PILT. Any more discussion? No more discussion, we'll go to a vote, all in favor,
Aye.
motion passed.
I'll give that one to you, Mike, for a signature. And this one. Thank you.
We need to go back to,
Michelle, I can take them, but just for the minutes, I'll give them to you.
yeah, I'll just make copies of everything.
Perfect. The other thing is we got a report from NACO on the effects of the state decisions on counties. I would like, since we have one candidate so far for the legislature, I would like to schedule him for a meeting and share that with him and to try and educate him as to what we do on the county level, how legislative decisions affect us, and kind of start what was brought up at conference here on the Broadwater County level. Are you guys good with that?
Who is that? Who is that?
I think his name is Jonathan, and I think it's Johnson is his last name. Nice guy. He's been in the paper a couple times. He's been at a couple of events already. He was at the barbecue this summer. He was at Fall Fest with his wife. He's DES for Lewis and Clark County in the past.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a safety guy. So I would like to schedule that if that's good with you guys.
That's okay. Hey,
All right.
Well,
Kurt?
I didn't even know I was on the agenda. Sorry.
It's probably not your fault.
Well, it probably is, because I'm sure I got the email that said I was on the agenda.
Well, at least you made it.
I was going to lunch and Mike said, aren't you on the agenda at noon? I said, I don't know. So, sorry if I'm late.
Changing your lunch hour, right? Yeah, let's see, what do we have here for you? Kirk Flynn, Justice Peace, monthly update, ongoing budget review.
I don't have much to update. I think that my budget's been pretty consistent. I haven't spent any money, so I think that I'm on track. I haven't actually booked my is it Black Eagle or
Blackfoot.
Blackfoot?
Actually, Black Mountain.
Black
Oh,
Mountain.
Black Mountain.
As they were called Black Water last week, so.
I have not spent any money, and I think that our revenues are actually been up a little bit the last couple months due to more highway patrol fines and forfeitures. A lot of our revenue was down the last about year and a half, over 2 years, because highway patrol has basically, we used to get about 1,200 citations a year from Montana Highway Patrol. Last year, we got 450, so we're down about over 50%. And usually those Montana Highway Patrol citations are where the Justice Court generates quite a bit of revenue, just because it's mostly forfeitures that go straight from like speeding tickets that usually don't get adjudicated, and it's been down a lot. It's been, the last month's been, a couple months have been up a little bit, but other than that, I think that everything's been pretty steady, so. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, I don't.
All right.
That's easy.
Was that satisfactory to the commission?
Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize for not being more prepared, but
That's
I
fine.
don't think that, I don't have any issues that are coming up that I see, so. Should be on
And if
track.
something does, you can drop in anytime, you know.
But I think we're on track. I think that my last, ever since I've been here, I think my budget's been pretty steady. I don't think I've done much different. I don't think I've ever went over budget. I can plan to continue that. So, no questions? We're good?
You bet. Thank you now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Well, so I think we'll recess until 1:45, meeting with the Forest Service and Bureau.